paint everywhere in here now. Today I wanted to talk about India again. When we first arrived in Leh, we visited Mahabodhi School, the school that we were going to build the e-base for. That's the solar powered classroom. If you don't know why I was in India, then check out my previous video that will explain everything about the expedition, sort of. So we visited Mahabodhi School and we got to meet the boys that live at the school, and they were awesome. They were so much fun, they were so energetic, they were really keen to practice their English. They all absolutely love football and they were just so innocent and adorable. So I took this picture, which is one of my favourites from the trip. I included it in my sort of series of portraits from the expedition because I just love it so much, the fact that it reminds me that they're so proud to be able to go to school. They feel so privileged and lucky to have that position, so they take care of their uniform with pride. It was just a really humbling experience. After we built the e-base at this school, we headed up to a lake called Pangong So. Pangong So. We called it Pangong. It's said to display a beautiful 7 shades of blue, so we were really excited to go and see this lake. The cleanest water in India, so clean it measures as alkaline rather than acidic on the pH scale, which means that there's not much life in it, and you're also not allowed to swim in it or go on boats and stuff like that. There's no pollution whatsoever, it has to be left intact. The issue was, to get to this lake was 7 hours in cars. It's fine, you know, long day trip, whatever. I've never gone this long in a car before, especially not on mountain roads where you can see the cars that have rolled down the cliff and burnt. Great. We started the journey and we're just shaking around the whole time, but it was great to see more of the area. You pass luscious green fields where the irrigation has just been masterfully implemented, and then you see the monasteries on top of hills and the villages built around them, and it's just such an awesome place, such an incredible part of the world. Because you see it in National Geographic magazine, but then to be there and realise that there are lots of places like this, it's real, is really cool. And we're inching our way close to this lake. Finally we're on the mountain roads, we get even better views, and then we hit 15,000 feet. Altitude sickness has never been an issue for me, and luckily it wasn't in the Himalayas either, but I really felt it after getting out of the cars. I had a really big headache, really dry mouth, very dizzy. It felt like being drunk. And just, you step out of the car and it just hits you, you're just swaying, and it's so intense. Especially when you do feel that sort of drunk dizziness, and then you look up and there are armed military army men looking at you, and they're just there with their guns, just chilling. But we carried on through the headaches, took lots of pills, had chai tea on the way, and then we arrived. When we arrived it was cloudy, so we didn't get to see these famous 7 shades of blue, but we did get to see the spectacular clouds, really dramatic, with the choppy lake, but we just didn't care. We were so exhausted from being thrashed around in the back of these taxis. Everyone was in so much pain. We just wanted to go to bed, so we arrived, there's a campsite, we see the tents, there are quite a few other people around with campfires and stuff like that. We're like, cool, good night. No, because we're not at our campsite yet, which is actually the other side of the lake, as far away from everyone else as possible, which was kind of nice. We got to stay on these farmers' lands, which is why I got to take this picture. This woman owned the farmland that we were staying on, that they'd made a campsite out of. And I love this picture because you can see her with her beautiful clothing and incredible expression on her face. It's just sort of her in her space, like the child with the uniform. It's him and his things, which he has very few of, but he's proud of the uniform. And this woman, proud of her cow. There were more than one cow, by the way. That's just the only one that was in the picture. And the stone wall that they would have hand-built from the stones in the area, with the mountains behind, and then the lake was behind us. It was a bit awkward when I wanted to take this picture. I was using this camera. I don't speak Ladakhi, and she didn't speak English, so I just held up the camera and was sort of like, can I use this to take a picture of you? And she nodded, which is great, and then she stood still, take the picture, and then this camera, as you can see, takes absolutely incredible images, but in doing that it takes a long time to save them. So then she sort of said, can I see it? I was like, yeah, sure. So then I go to show her, but it's saving, so then there's nothing there. So then she thinks I've just shoved a camera in her face doing this, saying, look, I've got a camera you haven't. But finally it came up and she saw it, and then she sort of nodded, which is great, because I didn't want her to make me delete it, because I really liked it as a picture. On the way back down, we visited a monastery, which was called The Hemis, it was called the Hemis Monastery, yes, there we go, that's fine. Which is the largest in the area, it's absolutely huge, and what really got to me was a lot of people that I met and got to speak to had never left. They are given to the monastery as babies. They're donated to the monastery to be monks, to learn the ways of the Buddha. And since then they've never left. So there were 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds that have spent their whole time in this absolutely fascinating structure. As we were leaving the monastery, I saw a monk walking into town. So some of them do leave because they're asked to take part in prayer sessions in other places. And this man was on his way into town, all in his big red robes, and he looked absolutely incredible. And again, it sounds a bit cliche, but it's just what you see in the National Geographic stuff, and then you see it in real life and realise that it's absolutely real, and it's odd to be there and realise I'm here right now seeing this for real. This person actually has this life where all he does is this, and he's never left this building. It's for real, like, completely. And it's such an enlightening experience, and I absolutely love it. It's always a shock, but that's why I love travelling so much, because you get to see so much of the world. I read a great quote the other day, I'll have to find out who it's by, but it was, "The world is a book. If you never travel, then you only read one page." I love that so much, and I think that's so true. But this chap was walking down the path into town, and I saw him, and I just did the awkward camera, "Can I please take a picture?" And then he gave a nod, held it up, took the picture, tried to get the monastery behind him, and I did. And then this is that shot, which again I absolutely love, the monk with his monastery. Again, I absolutely adore this picture because of the expression he has, and I can't tell what he's thinking, which is why I love it. I don't know if he's judging me for being such a tourist, because I absolutely was. But I am so glad I took this photo. I love it. The morning of handing over the e-base to Mahabodhi School, we were invited to a prayer session with Guruji. So in the previous video, the monk training video, I explained what a guru is. Basically a lama, just below the Dalai Lama, not the animal. We were invited to a prayer session with Guruji, the guru of the area, the overseer of the region. And I've never had a meditation session before, so this was my first, and I was absolutely thrilled to have it with such a high-ranking Buddhist monk. And he said that he is concerned about Western education. And I thought that's a bit strange, because, not to sound arrogant, but we've just come over to try and help your education by giving kids internet for the first time, because then they have a wealth of new resources for education. Why are you concerned about us? Because in my mind we're way further ahead, right? And he carried on to say, at no point in Western education do they ever teach you to be happy. It's too competitive. It's all about having the best grades so you can get the best job, so you can make the most money, so you can have more money than your neighbour, and then you're better. And at no point does it ever teach you to be happy or to just do what you want. And I found that I've been thinking about this way more recently than ever before, having started university, because I do art at university. My brother does engineering, and I know other scientists and doctors and people like that, and you just know that they have applicable skills for the job world. What am I going to do? I do art. What am I going to do? And then I thought, I don't need to worry about money. Yes, money comes into it for survival, but I don't need to worry about making more money than someone else. But that was in my mind, that's what I was thinking, how can I make more money than people? But if I'm surviving, if I'm living, and I'm doing what I love, which is painting, then I'll be happy. And then why worry about having more money? So that was a huge lesson for me from the Himalayas, from this guru who spoke to us and just said, stop worrying about things, stop worrying about new products and the latest shoes or the best iPhone. Do what makes you happy. And I found it so hard to shake that, because I think this will make me happy, having the new phone will make me happy. It does, for a week, and then it's normal, and then I want something else that's bigger. I value experience so much more than anything else. That's why I took the plunge to go on the Himalayan expedition. When I should have been saving up for university, I put my money into going to the Himalayas, and that experience confirmed to me that I want more experiences. And that is why I go to university. Not for the degree, because is it really that much good? A fine art degree? Sorry to I mean, come on, really, it's not a law degree, is it? But the opportunities it would provide. Like my year abroad. It's going to be probably the biggest, scariest experience of my life. That's a fact. And I hope I continue to think about what that guru said. Work on being happy. Don't worry about competition. Do what makes you happy. Don't work on having things. Getting deep in here. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this video. If you did like it, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you want more travel videos and would like to follow me on my adventures of my year abroad, then subscribe below for more videos as I leave in 20 days. Oh my god.